Beautiful people, this university I'm going to talk about now is open in Portugal and they are accepting applications. Now, this video is gonna be very short because I want to add another video to the second part. Like after this one, you're going to listen to another one. Please, those of you, especially those of you who are in Dubai, Bahrain, Vietnam, Qatar, Cyprus, make sure you watch till the end. There are so many things I mentioned in that video. If you want to move with spouse, you don't want to move with spouse, it is going to help you. Now, let's go to this university that is open in Portugal. What is the name of the school? It is the University of Algarve. Now, pay attention to the application fee of 100 euros. Pay attention to the registration fee and insurance, school insurance of 275 euros. Pay attention to the first year, the second year, and the third year of tuition fee, which costs about 2,500 to 3,000 euros, depending on the program of interest. One thing I would like you to tell the admissions team is, tell them that you cannot pay this money at once. How much can you pay before you apply for visa? And when you get to Portugal, can you pay in installments, like 10 installments? That is the first question you should ask them. Smart move. Okay, I've given you a secret. Now, when you get to this university's website, these are things you should check before you apply. Check the language of instruction of the program you want to apply to. Point number one. Point number two, check the application deadline. Point number three, check the tuition fee of the program. Point number four, check if the program is taught in both Portuguese and English before you launch your application. Why am I saying this? If you verify all these details, you would know where you belong. Now, remember, you have to apply to this university. They might ask you to show legalized documents. Remember, even if they do not ask you to show legalized documents for your application, you will still need legalized documents to apply for visa. So the best thing to do is to make sure you do your legalized document. You legalize your documents now before you drop an application. This is important. I was talking to somebody today on one-on-one in Dubai. In fact, they are a couple. They want to move, but again, they didn't know about this information. Information is key if you must move abroad this year. I want to see you guys in Europe. Now, watch the second section of this video. Let's go straight away into the video without wasting so much time. Please listen to me. If you really want a japa, listen to me. The first thing you need to know is that, yeah, I talk about things the way they have to be. Okay, there is no need sugarcoating, going front and back to maybe convince people. No. Let's give people the legit information they need. First of all, before I proceed, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, the details is always in the video description box. And what you need to do is to go there and book a call. Also, if there is any link, I'll drop it below. Thank you. Let's not waste time. Now, I spoke to some people, couples. Today, I spoke to, what's my English like this? Anyways, let's manage. English is not a problem. Take the material. Few days back, I think that was on Monday, I spoke to two couples, right? Now, I don't want to share more details here. One is in UK, one is in Nigeria. Then today, I spoke to two people in the United Arab Emirates. Now, this is the problem most couples face. How to move together. They will either see a country and they want to move together, but it's going to be difficult because of what? The finance involved. It is a lot, I understand. Now, to the people who wanted to move to the Netherlands with families, I'm still trying to reach the Dutch immigration. I called today like 18 times. They didn't pick. They said they are busy. So I will reach them. There is information, but I want to get it clear from the people's mouth before I pass it here. So be patient. Now, some couples are having issues moving together. This is suggestion number one. If you are like married, if you have your girlfriend or you want to get married and move together, I understand leaving a partner behind is sometimes challenging, but if you want to move together, this is what you are going to do. Okay, issue number one, I don't want to drink coffee now. Anyways, issue number one, if the money you have is enough and you think that if you put in for the same visas you might not get it, this is what you should do. Apply to separate universities. You, as the man, apply to two universities in the same country or different countries the female apply to two universities in different country or the same country, or if you are both ways or same thing, you understand. I don't want to start mentioning that here. Now, when you do that, it gives you chance if in case you end up getting admission and you don't get it in a country that accepts families. You go in, you look for money and go in as two students. But for example, if your money is not big and you want to move to Lithuania, let's say you guys are two and you have like 8 million CFA francs. Now, 8 million cannot take the two of you to Sweden. It cannot take the two of you to Finland. It cannot take the two of you to a country like maybe Austria, right? What are you left with? Portugal. If you want to move as a couple, you can go to Portugal, but this money is still small because proof of funds to Portugal is around 7,000 euros for one person after tuition has been paid. So that money might not carry the two of you, but there is prospect that Portugal can accept you if you add the money a bit. You understand? So always consider this. Portugal is the cheapest country now that accepts families. There are countries on the list. Let me list them. Those that you can move with families. Then I will come back to the video to explain something. You can go to Iceland with your family. You can apply and go to Portugal with your family. You can go to Sweden with your family. You can move to Austria with your family. You can move to Finland with your family. You can move to Spain with your family. You can move to, I talked about Denmark, right? Now, these are the countries. Which ones are open now? We still have Iceland that is open. But what is the problem with Iceland? Most couples don't have IELTS. Do you stand a chance to get admissions in Iceland if you do not have IELTS? Your chances are slim. This is my advice. Take it very seriously and do your own research. The next country, Portugal. Do you stand a chance to move to Portugal? Admissions is open now in Portuguese university. Their chances of going in are high. You can get admission, but you should know that if you're a bachelor student, it's going to be complicated because most schools do not teach at BSc level in Portuguese. Like they teach like the language of instructions at BSc level for most bachelor's programs is Portuguese, not English. So the master's student have an advantage here. I said most universities. I didn't say in all. Now, the next country is Denmark. Admissions is already closed in some Danish universities. I think already 3 are left. Aalborg, Roskilde, and which one again? I think Southern Denmark. Check very well to be sure. Now, one challenge with Denmark is IELTS. The second challenge with Denmark is competitiveness. Very competitive. And Denmark does not take many students. Now, the next challenge is going to be the tuition because they charge per semester and you need, some schools charge like 7,000 euros. Now, if you cannot afford that money, will you be able to move to Denmark? That should be a question mark. Yeah, you see. Now, another country that could accept you is Sweden. Sweden is already closed for the September-October intake. You can't apply now. Another thing is Austria. I notice most couples do not have the legalized documents intact. And this process takes 6 months minimum. I don't know if things have changed this year, but this is what is on ground at the moment. Now, another issue, another country is Finland. What is the problem with Finland? Finland has joint application, which you can apply for 6 different programs. Now, the joint application is closed. The only way you can apply for Finland now is using rolling application, which means you can apply at any time of the year. Make sure you check the dates you can apply and start school, and separate application, which if you want to apply to 2 schools, you have to pay 2 application fees for 2 different programs, whereas you could apply for 6, is it 5 or 4? I think some thereabout with 1 application fee. And Finland have increased tuition fee, and the money to move together as a couple is not small money. Many challenges. Now, another option is Ireland. Not Ireland, but Iceland. Iceland will ask you, if I talked about that before, it's going to ask you for IELTS. Remember, the proof of funds you are supplying to Iceland depends. That is what is going to determine the type of visa they are going to give to you, or the number of, if you give them less of what they need and your documents are okay, they will give you a payment for less, like 6 months. You will have to be renewing it again, and that still costs money. But now, the problem is the money. Most couples do not have it. Now, if you want to move to Spain, some countries have appointment issues, meanwhile others do not. But Spain is also quite affordable. Some people do not want it. So now, in the long run, you need to sit down to analyze everything as a couple. This is what I told somebody yesterday. And the same thing I told my people from Dubai who booked the call today is sit down after listening to me, sit down and put the points I gave you into consideration and ask yourself, this is what Milton said. Now, what do we do? Should we go for it? And remember, these countries, Portugal, for you to apply, you need to legalize your documents before you apply. For you to apply to Sweden, you don't need it, but Sweden is closed. For you to apply to Austria, you need to legalize your documents and admissions is open. For you to apply to Spain, you will apply, but you will legalize the documents, do translation later. So you see, it's not a straightforward something. Nothing is easy. I'm now talking to those who have been asking me, Milton, which one is easy? Nothing is easy, bro. Yes, this is the fact. This is truth. I'm telling you. So you must be strategic as early as possible. This is the time, February. After this month, if you have not made a decision on where you want to go, you haven't done your application, you haven't started, problem is loading. Trust me, bro, problem is loading a lot. Enough problems. So you have to get started right now. There is no time to waste. This is my advice for you. And Austria have started interviews. Like if you apply now, they are going to ask you for an entrance exam. Yeah. Some of these things were not there, but now Austria is asking for it. So you need to put some of these things into consideration before you start thinking of, oh, I want to move here. I want to move here. Where should I go to? Put these things into consideration. Then again, smart move. Couples, if it's going to be difficult, if you think that moving to these countries together, like these countries that you can move with couples, if you think your money cannot carry you into these countries, choose other countries and use separate applications. Choose Lithuania, choose Slovakia. Please avoid Vietnam, avoid Qatar, avoid Kazakhstan, Cyprus, all these places. Don't go to these places. Some of them will not give you PR, even if you stay there for more than 20 years. Most of us, we didn't travel because we are just looking at money. No, there are so many things we are thinking about. And if you are thinking like me, like a smart person, then you shouldn't be thinking only about money. Right? That's why I always tell people, you can live in Dubai even for 50 years. They will never give you their permanent residency. But if you live in Europe for 5 years, some countries give you immediately their passport. Now, you might be asking Milton, oh, what is the advantage?